They wonder why no one is supporting their secondary dump. They wonder why no one is watching pretend basketball. Maybe if they focused on the actual basketball instead of focusing on their weird utopian fantasies, maybe their dump would be upgraded to a polished turd. You know, when Nafisha Collier and Bree Stu came together to launch a pretend basketball league to financially compete with the WNBA, believe it or not, I actually respected it. I respected their ambition. I admired their drive to put their fate into their own hands. Even if Unrivaled ends in huge embarrassing failure, which it will, I will never criticize Nafisha Collier and Brianna Stewart for at least giving it a try, giving it a chance. For years, I have been highly critical of the dump divers in the WNBA for their incessant whining and complaining. They whined about having to travel to road games using the method preferred by those who worship the changing climate, feet. The NBA listened to those complaints and upgraded their travel accommodations from used shoes to the Greyhound bus. When entitled players complained about the Greyhound, they were upgraded to coach seats on Spirit Airlines. Naturally, they complained about that too, so they were upgraded to first class. And they were eventually upgraded to chartered flights, private airfare. Now keep in mind, the WNBA could not afford the duct tape required to keep the shoes together when players were traveling to road games on foot. This league has been a charitable write-off for the NBA for the last 30 years. 30 years! And the dump has never generated a single peso in profit. But that hasn't stopped WNBA players from complaining about their minimum wage salaries. Every year, we hear complaints about how unfairly WNBA players are treated. We packed 17 people in the high school gym in Atlanta. We sold a record amount of wiener at the concession stand. Why won't the league share that revenue with us? I got my paycheck today and it said invoice. Even though they did not earn it, WNBA players were given a significant increase in their salaries a few years ago. Did that stop the complaining? No! When you're dealing with entitlement, no good gesture goes unpunished. You can never give enough to fully satisfy the entitlement, which is why I respected Nafisha Collier and Brianna Stewart for actually doing something about it. Instead of joining the complaining choir and singing the blues about living in poverty, these ambitious ladies, they decided to launch their own league, Unrivaled. It was a fitting name because the quality of play in this league is truly unrivaled. There's no basketball on the planet that's worse. Upon launching Unrivaled, the dynamic duo, they announced that they would be offering their pretend basketball players six-figure salaries. Now, this was unprecedented. This was unheard of. The only time WNBA players have seen six figures is when they check their credit report. Unrivaled is giving these ladies the opportunity to lift themselves out of poverty and make a decent living pretending to play basketball. With that being the case, you would think that players competing in Unrivaled would be appreciative. You would think they would be doing everything in their power to protect the league while also giving people a reason to actually watch it. Instead, Dijonai Carrington is hell-bent on destroying a league whose ratings are already struggling to draw a fly to a dog's ass. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel is in the description below. Earlier today on the second channel, talked about another potential gambling scandal in the NBA. Another NBA player, and this time it's a starter. It's not some scrub from the G League. We're talking about an NBA starter potentially fixing games. If you want the full story, head over to the second channel and check it out. Earlier this week, or it might have even been last week, we talked about Dijonai Carrington making her immaculate entrance to the Unrivaled studio wearing a t-shirt that said "Fuck Donald Trump." Well, KC, don't you mean that DJ was making her entrance to the Unrivaled arena? arena? WNBA players can't sell out the Civic Center. They can't sell out the Community Center in Gay, Georgia. Unrivaled is a startup. They can't afford the rent for an arena, much less sell it out. Unrivaled games are held in a small studio somewhere in Florida. Last Friday, Dijonai Carrington, she made her entrance to the studio where she posed for the only photographer who was willing to accept the job. My inside sources, they are telling me that TNT tried to hire a group of photographers to photograph the players as they were entering the studio. They wanted the players to feel important. They wanted people to think there was genuine interest in this league. Unfortunately, only one photographer was willing to take the job. He's also the ball boy, the referee, and with the 5 o'clock shadow that he's got, he could also be one of the players. When the pictures of Dijonai Carrington were uploaded on social media, Unrivaled received a shitload of backlash. I guess they didn't receive the memo that it's no longer mainstream to hate Donald Trump. After receiving the backlash, combined with the abysmal ratings the first 2 weeks of the season, which we'll get to here in just a second, you would think that Dijonai Carrington would smarten up and tone down the political rhetoric. Obviously, she doesn't have to support Donald Trump, but it might be wise, it might be smart to just not bring him up altogether. I mean, what the hell does the Trumper have to do with pretend basketball? I know his face is the same color as the miniature ball, but outside of that one commonality, the Trumper has nothing to do with pretend basketball. Hell, I doubt Donald Trump even knows that Unrivaled exists. But Dijonai Carrington just can't leave the orange man alone. Yesterday, she was at a press conference hyping the exciting matchups that Unrivaled will present tonight on TNT. But instead of talking about the matchup between the layup missers and the Mister Sisters, she decided to talk about the orange man. DJ wanted the one beat reporter for Unrivaled to know that she's real mad. Last week, the Trumper ended the era of diversity, equity, and inclusion. He fired anyone in the federal government who included their proper pronouns in their email signature. Guys like Donna, former man DEI, gone. Women like Fred Flatulence, gone. According to Dijonai Carrington, this assault from the Trumper on DEI needs to be stopped. And the only group that can stop this onslaught are the bearded beauties and the WNBA. Now, I could not find video of Dijonai Carrington's remarks, probably because Unrivaled could not afford to film this press conference, so I'm just going to summarize her comments for you. It's time for the WNBA to take action against the orange man. Women's rights are being taken away along with the rights of WNBA players. Donnie's also taking away LGBTQIA @ rights. I know it hasn't actually happened yet, but it's coming. You watch what I tell you. I'm Dijonai Carrington, damn it. Wait a minute. You're telling me that the rights have not been taken away, but they could be taken away? If that's the case, what are you taking action against? Where is the cause? Where is the fight? Also, what is your plan? Dijonai Carrington spoke a lot of words, but for some reason, she never shared her master plan. Maybe, just maybe, it's because she doesn't have one. You really think the Trumper is worried about action from the WNBA? You know who's worried about action from WNBA players? The diva of Dump Divas, Kat Engelbert. She has been begging these players for action for years now. Someone please make a layup. Someone please give people a reason to watch. This is one of many reasons that people refuse to watch this garbage. Your unknown players are literally alienating half the country. Unrivaled is not paying Dijonai Carrington 6 figures to turn people away. They are paying her to draw an audience. Kind of hard to do that when you're basically telling people to fuck off. We are 2 weeks into this experiment with Unrivaled, and I would not be surprised if TNT shut this league down before the end of the season. What I don't understand is how the mainstream media continues to polish this turd. Headline at awful announcing: Unrivaled viewership remains modest in week 2. Modest? Modest? Modest is a word I would use to describe ratings in the NHL. Nationally televised games in the NHL, they normally average 400,000 viewers. That's modest. Unrivaled cannot come close to reaching half that number. These ratings aren't modest, they're abysmal, they're atrocious. If I had to guess, Unrivaled is the least watched programming on TNT. Monday night, the Lunar Owls versus the Vinyl, 134,000 viewers. The doubleheader on TNT Monday night averaged 166,000. Through 2 weeks, which I believe would be 8 nationally televised games, Unrivaled is averaging less than 200,000 viewers a game. Every week, ratings are declining by double digits. At their current trajectory, we won't be able to react to ratings for Unrivaled soon, because here in about 3 weeks, their ratings will be too low to be measured. You know, if I were TNT, if I were Breanna Stewart and Naphisha Collier, I would kick Dijonai Carrington out of the league. You cannot afford this. And look, if a player was publicly supporting Donald Trump and it was bad for business, I'd kick them out too. Now, right now, it would be great for business, but you get what I'm saying. Pretend basketball has nothing to do with politics. Your league is already dead on arrival. Dead on arrival. You don't need additional help. You don't have an audience to lose. You created this league hoping to give players a way to make money during the off-season. But you can't make money when your players are giving people every reason not to watch your product. Give me your thoughts on this. If you were running this business and Dijonai Carrington kept causing controversy, and that controversy was not turning into ratings, it was actually bad for your business, would you kick her out of the league? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Best way to contact me is through email, btlkc84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys tomorrow.